What is the shortest international border in the world? There are plenty of small countries with short borders, such as Monaco, which shares a 4.4-kilometer-long border with France, and the Vatican, which shares a 3.2-kilometer border with Italy. But there are bigger countries that share shorter borders, such as the UK and Spain. Of course, the British Isles are nowhere near Spain, but the British territory on the Iberian Peninsula is. Despite how it may look, we're not talking about Malaga but about Gibraltar. This British overseas territory shares a 0.8-mile, 1.2-kilometer border with Spain, which is not the shortest international border in the world. Down in Africa, there exists a pretty unique border where Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Namibia come close to forming the only place on Earth where four countries meet at one point. In the past, it was thought that this was maybe a quadrupoint, but nobody was really sure. Many of the post-colonial era borders were not super well defined. Right here, at this point, Namibia, which was controlled by South Africa at the time, said that the border was a quadrupoint with four countries meeting at one point. While Botswana said that the border looked like this, with them having a tiny little border in the Zambezi River with Zambia, which was important to them since there was a ferry across the river, which served as the only direct connection between the two countries. If the border did indeed look like this as South Africa said it did, every ferry trip would illegally be entering their territory. So, South Africa/Namibia decided to take action, and everyone lived somewhat peacefully until around 2007, when the four countries sat down and decided that Botswana did indeed share this tiny, 500-foot, 150-meter border with Zambia. What's more, they decided to build a bridge to link the two countries, which was supposed to be done in 2019 and would take this old curve in order to very decisively stay out of Namibia and Zimbabwe's territory. Now, this tiny border does qualify as the shortest overall border between two countries, as in the total border distance two countries share. Still, there are shorter single portions of borders between two countries. Exclaves, territories of a country surrounded by that of another, are the key to shorter border portions. You can look at a place like Bala-Nassau. The easiest way to describe this town is like this: this is Belgium, this is the Netherlands. It's just a messy puzzle of exclaves, the smallest of which is this one. This strange Belgian portion of an empty field has a border length of 800 feet or 250 meters, making it a very short border, but still longer than that Botswana-Zambia border. But remember that time back at the end of the 19th century when Europe decided it'd be cool to just take all of Africa? Then, 50 years later, Europe decided it would be a good idea to just leave all of Africa. Half a century later, Spain still holds these territories in Africa. Ceuta and Melilla are fairly well known as their decently sized cities, but there are more Spanish territories in North Africa. 6 islands just off the coast of Morocco are actually controlled by Spain. It's worth noting all of the Spanish territories in North Africa are disputed territories with Morocco, but each of them is controlled by Spain. In addition to those 6 islands, Spain has another bit of territory in mainland Africa, Peñón de Vélez de la Gomera. This tiny rock was once an island, but a huge storm formed this thin strip of sand that connected it with mainland Africa. The Spanish territory is only inhabited by a few dozen Spanish soldiers whose whole purpose is to sit around and make sure the Moroccans don't take it. It's not that this peninsula is strategically important at all anymore. It's just that the Spanish believe that giving this territory to Morocco would open the political floodgates for them to return Ceuta and Melilla to Morocco. The Spanish soldiers can't cross into Morocco, and Moroccans can't cross into this bit of Spain, so all supplies and personnel are flown in by helicopter to this heliport. Because this was formerly an island, the border just spans over the sand strip, which makes it exceptionally short. The distance from here to here is just 278 feet or 85 meters, and this is, therefore, almost certainly, the shortest international border in the world. You probably don't need an advanced understanding of geometry to figure out how long this border is.